Hi, Angel. Buckle in, okay? Buckle in, because this is an interesting message. Well, not interesting. That's not really the right term. You know, as always, before we jump in, this message, you're going to know and feel if it's for you, okay? And if this message has shown up on your browse feature or has been sent to you, it is likely sent to you by one of your angels or your team of light, because this is a very deep message that's going to be coming through, because there's a lot of energies up in the air right now, okay? We're about to be entering into eclipse season, and even just like the different transits that are moving through, but also the season at the end of winter. There's like several different pinpoints of reality that are kind of like, these are the couple of months where things really, really get the opportunity to come to the surface. And I think it's begun. I can feel it in the air, and I can feel it for you as well. And I feel like you may not be feeling it fully yet, but there's definitely a heaviness in your heart recently, where there's been like a looming energy almost, either in the air or on your heart recently. You may have even been thinking of past relationships. They may have been coming up in your reality, or you may have even just like had nights where you like, I don't know, just kind of like, it's not that you're really like pulling back towards them, and it's not like you want them anymore. These could be friends or partners, just so you know. Like, there's no specific type of relationship. It's like pretty open. But I just feel like there's been like old relationships and old partnerships that have really just been rising within you, and it's almost like you're just like re-witnessing what they were for you, is kind of the feeling that I get. And almost like there is this other energy when it comes to those relationships where you know that they no longer serve you, okay? You know that they're not for you any longer, but you're also remembering the good is the thing. You're remembering the parts that were so magical, and those parts of a relationship or friendship, you haven't had them in a while again. And the reason that this is coming through, especially right now, and this message is coming to find you, is because there is so much waiting for you on the other side. And your angels, your team of light specifically, this message is very powerfully from your team of light, okay? If you don't know what a team of light is, it's basically all of your spirit guides on the other side. And there's so many different books you can read about this. There's angel spirit guide books, there's books that talk about just like past ones, loved ones that have passed on, or even just like your ancestors that have passed on. Many of these people are in your team of light, and you can kind of feel who's in your team of light, because they're the people that you would want to call to. They're the people that you would want to pray to. And sometimes you don't know everyone on your team of light as well, just so you know. And I'm getting this really strong calling to tell you about a book right now. And if you're here at this exact moment, you should absolutely read this book, because this book is very special to my heart, near and dear to my heart. And it finds you. This book literally finds you at the exact moment that it needs to find you. And this book will it just is so magnificent. And it's called Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson, okay? And the whole book is about communicating with your team of light, okay? And it's so beautiful. So if you're feeling a calling right now, you should absolutely go read that book, because I promise you, you're gonna have moments of pure tears, just like how I just did. Just like that book will just open your heart in ways that I can't even put into words. But we've had these energies coming up and rising to the surface, right? And again, like, all of this is coming through because this is that. I'm getting the last stretch. There was a name for it that I heard the other day, but I can't remember what it was. But basically, like, this is the last stretch. This is the last little bit before this huge shift within your reality. And it's the moving through this specific time that is gonna feel like you're, it's okay. I don't want to say this specifically because I don't feel like it's going to feel like you're dragging through mud. Like, that's what I was seeing. I was like, you're dragging yourself through mud, but it's not really you're dragging yourself through mud. It's just like, it's almost like you're on a river run and you're ready to be done, but there's still another like couple miles for you to go down the river, and you're like, oh, I can't get out of this river. It's not safe to get out at any point. My exit point to the next dimension or the next place I'm going is in 2 miles. And so you kind of just have to sit back, okay? And this message is probably finding you right at the time where you're like, oh, like I have this energy of like, you're like, I'm just so ready, but there's still a couple of miles left. There's a few miles left for you to just like move through. And so this is that last stretch, right? That's like where you're at right now and where you're going to be moving through. And so this message is almost like a comfort message for this time that you're moving into, this end of winter era that you're moving through, you know, because we have like about another month and a half, a little bit more than that. No, I don't know, of winter, right? Because the spring solstice is March 21st, I believe. And then we're moving into a bunch of different energies, but we're still going to be moving through eclipses for like, I think it's like the next like 3 months. There's a lot of eclipse seasonal stuff, which that's all going to be, I will refer you to an astrologer for that. That stuff's beyond me. It's so in depth. But it's going to bring up a lot. I mean, eclipse season every year is really hard. And for me personally, like, this is that time of the year, every single year, where it really is so powerful because it feeds into the entire next fun year that you have, but it's also like the most detrimental time because there's so much that comes up that just like kind of, this is the one time of the year that I would say the universe is testing you, because we all know this, I hope. And if not, if you're new, hello, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. But I don't like to use the term that the universe tests you, because I don't believe they're tests. I believe that the universe is providing you endless opportunities to level up. I believe that the universe is always giving you these little silver platters and saying like, oh, which one are you gonna take? Which one are you gonna do? And it's all opportunity for you to learn and for you to become a higher version of yourself, right? And so I don't really believe in tests, because a test is something that you can fail, and I just don't think you can fail. Like, I don't believe that you can fuck up in this universe. And I don't think that because I believe personally that your soul chose to come here and experience specific lessons to elevate your consciousness, not just you in this specific lifetime, okay? And so that's like just a little base of to like why I speak and why I say like the universe doesn't test you. But if I were to give you a period of time where I would say the universe is testing you, it would be this specific stretch. Because in this specific stretch, and it's almost funny because again, like, it's not actually tests, they're more like opportunities to see if you're ready for the next launch, where you jump off at the end of this 2-mile river run and you get on to the next timeline, right? Or your highest timeline, or wherever it is that your angels are picking you up and tossing you into a new place, right? But this specific time, I feel like a lot of energies that are arising within you, and you will have been feeling this, like I mentioned earlier, like you may have been thinking about past people. You may be re-witnessing those relationships, and you're seeing them from a different eye recently. Like, it's almost like all the rose-colored glasses that you've had for those relationships is gone. But you're also seeing them from a perspective where you're like, whoa, there was so much love there. Like, I feel like you have been experiencing these moments where it's almost like, instead of, whoa. That was so weird. My phone buzzed, and my phone never buzzes. I'm literally on Do Not Disturb. No one should be able to text me. If this isn't a sign for something, dude, I do not know what is, because no one should be able to text me, and she just did. So anyways, take that as a note for something. Where was I? Oh, like you've been finally seeing, like the rose-colored glasses have been lifted, and you've been seeing, it's funny because you would think that if the rose-colored glasses were lifted, you would be like, oh, that was actually shit, you know what I mean? Like you'd think that that's what you would see, and it's not that there weren't moments where you were like, oh, I didn't deserve that. There were, but there were more moments where you were like, or where you're now looking and reviewing and kind of like, it's so funny, I'm seeing like, whoa, I just saw 3 birds flying past. 3s could be significant for you, so could the 3 of cups coming together. I guess there's a lot of symbolism coming through in this message too. I'll just state things out because we did mention signs in the beginning of this message, and so if I see things, I'll just be throwing out signs to you guys. I do want to do a whole message on that at some point, but anyways, besides the point. That's a different thing. So what I was seeing all of a sudden is like, you know how people talk about like, oh, at the end of your life, you get this big screen and you watch your whole life play out in front of you and you get to review everything before you cross over or whatnot, or when you're in the astral field. I don't know if that's actually true, but this is just an image, okay? And that image is coming through almost like you're reviewing this like you're at the end of a chapter in your life where you're like, you're seeing all of these past experiences, people and places and timelines and things that you've like experienced without the rose-colored glasses, and you're like almost looking at it from a perspective like you're at the end of a chapter because your new life is about to begin, right? Which we talked about in another video. If you saw that video, you'll definitely have to comment down below because those two I'm sure are pretty linked, these two. But you're basically looking back at this like old chapter, reviewing it, and you're reviewing it from a sense of like, whoa, that taught me that, and whoa, that was so much love, and that moment of love actually shifted my entire perspective of love, even though it was so difficult for me. And even the way that that person spoke to me, like I remember feeling like it was so wrong how they spoke to me, but that sentence specifically was a trigger point to me shifting the way that I saw myself and the way that I decided to embody myself in myself, right? Or like certain other things you're looking back at and saying like, well, like this time in my life where like I was that person that just like didn't fit in, but like I was the only one that was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, or feeling so like I saw through it all, and you probably did, but you're looking back at that and you're like, I totally like felt like, why is everyone just like wildin' right now, like a wildlin', and you were so confused in that moment, but you look back at it now and you're like, that was the beginning. Like that was the beginning of this huge transformational period of me becoming me, like of me transforming into the version of who I am today, who you are today, right? Because I could interplace you, I'm being you, if you couldn't tell. And so you're like literally like witnessing how potent and specific and transformational each little moment was, and how full of love they all are, okay? You're literally seeing this, like it's like all these memories and these people and this stuff is being shown to you, and you're getting to rewatch it almost through your memories as they rise in this time, okay? And that's this last little stretch. It's like, it's not gonna be a stretch of turmoil on this river, like we're on a river run, right? You're on this river run, it's not crazy, you're not whipping all around anymore, you're not getting flipped up and down, you're not accidentally falling off. This last run for you is peaceful, okay? You're gonna be in peace. And that's what this next, like, end of this season is gonna be for you, end of winter, right? I don't know why I'm doing this a lot, maybe you do that a lot. I never do that, so I don't know, that's probably someone. If that's you, please let me know, because I'm like, why do I keep, like, doing this? Okay. I just got really giddy. But at this river run area, like, this part of your life is peaceful. And we've talked about this before too. Like, you know, if you've been here, like, there's a lot of peace right now. There's a lot of, like, witnessing. There's a lot of, like, it's like your life is, like, very at ease right now. And so it's within this easeful moment that you're getting to kind of re-witness everything that you've moved through. And the reason being is because at this last end, this is where you're letting it all go, okay? So that's why it's going to be rising within you. There are going to be some uncomfortable feelings this next month and a half moving up for you. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of clearing. I just feel like this is a session of energy clearing, okay? And I'm also hearing the angels want you to, or your team of light, the angels, anytime that you get the opportunity to move your body, move it. Anytime that you get the opportunity to shake or dance something out, do it. Anytime that you get the opportunity in this next month and a half to go and do something that is energy work or attains to energy work, that would be stuff like yoga, that would be stuff like shaking your body, that would be like meditation, or doing some kind of vinyasana. I'm not a yoga person, sorry, I don't know if that's the right word, but doing any of those things are going to assist you in this clearing, okay? Because anything that gives you the opportunity to allow those last bubbles of air, I'm seeing a syringe. You know when you fill a syringe with something and then you tap it so that all the bubbles of air go to the top and then you squirt it at the top? That's what I'm seeing. So it's like that moment where you're removing all the bubbles so that no damage is done to the skin when you insert that new whatever the fuck you're inserting. And so basically you're in that moment where you're tapping, everything's getting tapped inside of you, so all those little bubbles are going to be coming up, and this is going to be very connected to eclipse season. And I'm going to turn this off, it's like going off. It's going to be connected to eclipse season, so I really recommend like looking into astrology and stuff and like seeing how the eclipses are going and the different transits for the next like couple of months are going to affect you, because that's going to kind of tell you what's going to be rising. But either way, no matter what it is, anytime that something weird rises within you or comes up within you, like, your team of light just wants you to approach everything that's rising in you in this season as a witnessing moment, as an opportunity to review. Literally, like you're watching a movie of what you've moved through and the people that have come in and out, and you're basically watching that last few clips of memory before you step into this new chapter, okay? Because you're about to step into a new chapter, but this is going to be rising within you, and this is that season because it's also like, this is that time where all the weather comes through and kind of like, it's almost like energetically the seasons in tune with nature. This is the season where nature wants to put you inside, wants to give you a moment to just review and rest and kind of allow anything that needs to move from your body out, so that as springtime comes energetically, you can begin to plant new seeds, or you can begin to blossom, right? But you wouldn't be able to blossom if you weren't getting rid of everything that's left over there. And you don't want any sour bubbles to be left over in you that could hurt you in the future. So again, like, there's just this really strong message of like, these things are going to be uncomfortable when they're rising within you, like, but don't fight the uncomfortability. Allow them to rise. Don't take action on them. You don't need to connect. Unless you're with like a really close friend and you want to talk about it and just like move through it, then, and it's a safe space for you, then they recommend that. But otherwise, like, take your own time, journal. Use a journal madly right now, okay? Like, a journal is your best friend. Use a journal to like move through these things, allow them to come up and like review. Again, like, watch it like it's a screen in front of you and it's the end of a chapter, and you're getting to review all that so that it can be left in the last chapter and the book can open for you to write the next chapter of your life as you move through it. And the angels can help you, because the angels are obviously doing a lot in this next chapter for you. Like, I have talked about this before, but I just feel like summer is going to be one of the wildest summers you've ever experienced, and spring is going to be leading into that. But I think it's just like the very beginning of a really magical decade, era, all of the above. And I just feel like it's going to be so good. But right now, and the reason I very, very strongly can feel that these messages have been coming through and have come through this whole winter season because they're guidance factors. Like, they're literally, it's your guides on the other side coming through beings like me, and not just me. There are other channelers that are channeling this too. And there are other tarot readers that I watch personally also that like are talking about all these things, and all of this is coming up right now, especially because we also entered into the age of Aquarius, and this is all new, and it's all of that coming to the surface so that there can be guided energies for you to move into this wildly radiant summer, right? And I just feel like it's gonna be so good. But this moment here, I feel like the angels just keep pulling me back to this moment, because you can hold that hope for how beautiful the rest of the summer is going to be, but we are not going to walk into that until after we've allowed these bubbles to rise within us and leave, right? And get rid of them, like the little syringe I was talking about, like pop them out so that there is no leftover energy from the past season before you enter that new chapter. And was there something else I wanted to touch on? No, I feel like that's pretty much the message. I know that this message has been a little bit different than the other messages. I feel like these next few messages, especially for the next like month and a half, are kind of going to have a little bit of a slower energy, and they're going to have a bit more of a guided energy too. That's kind of what I'm getting. And there's also going to be, I already know this, but there's going to be a lot of really specific collective messages coming through. So I'm just like prepping you, because I have literally been told by the angels to get more specific so that messages can find specific collectives as they're meant to. So I feel like over the next little bit, like it's almost like things are gonna feel like they're slowing down a little bit, but they're actually not slowing down at all. It's just gonna feel that way, or you're gonna perceive it that way. So this could also be in your reality, or like through the messages, or all the energies, instead of it being like this crazy fast-paced like boop 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 energy, it's still gonna have the same amount of like giddiness and joy and fun and like heartfelt energy and like just the raw authenticity, which is like the shit I fucking live for, you know what I mean? Like, that's my shit. I'm like, the more raw you can be with me, the more I fucking love it. Like, I'm literally like beaming if someone's being their full authentic truth with me. And so there's still going to be so much of that, but there's also this very, very strong like guided hand message that's coming through from the angels. Just like their hands are on your shoulders, like walking you through this time, assisting you, guiding you, like, and it feels like slowed down because there is so much guidance to get you through this last push, because then you're up and you're out and you're partying. I don't know if partying is the actual word. I don't know if he'll be partying, but it's gonna feel like an energetic party. Yeah, so anyways, I'm just kind of prepping you guys a little bit for the coming messages that will be in this next little bit. The camera cut off, sorry. And I really hope that this message reached exactly who it was meant to, the exact collective that needed to hear this the most. I really trust the angels, so I'm sure that it did. But I love you guys so much, and I hope you know that. And I will be here for you and with you, moving through this shit too. And also, talking and continuing to create collective messages, because they do bring me all of my joy, literally. And also, I just feel like the reason, okay, I guess I'm ranting for a second about me. I hope you guys don't mind. But like my whole life, like I had a really, really hard time feeling like I mattered. Oh, this is heavy. It's not that heavy, Freya. Chill. See? I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about this. But like, I had a really, really hard time, and I went through a very, very dark time, and I went through it in cyclic patterning. And now that I'm a bit older, I understand that. I'm just gonna get real with you if you're here. I like struggled really, really deeply with depression, and was very suicidal, and yeah, I really, really struggled, and every time I thought that I was moving through it, it would cycle back through and come back and hit me again harder. And I've kind of, I have a whole relationship with that part of me now, right? And I see that, and I see the cycles as they come and rise, and because I just felt like I never had anyone to talk to about it, and I never, like, anytime I would talk about like what I was moving through or what I was even trying to comprehend, especially when you struggle with depression, like, it just feels like people don't understand, or they just don't, like, they don't hear you, or I don't know, it's just so hard because, like, you see, like, someone who hasn't experienced depression doesn't feel, they don't get it, you know what I mean? Like, they don't feel that darkness that comes with it, and so when you try to talk about it, it's like someone trying to understand a depth that they've never even witnessed in real life, but they've heard about, but they don't know it, you know? And so being through that, I just felt so incredibly alone, obviously. And all these messages, the reason that I'm doing this is because I needed someone like this. To be honest, like, I just needed a friend, like, the whole time I was moving through so much, and I wanted to be the true meaning of be the change you wish to see in the world, right? And by making these messages and being someone who can assist in that movement through and create a safe space for people, like, that's all I wanted when I was moving through so much darkness, was somewhere that I felt safe and somewhere that I felt seen, or where I could, like, know that I wasn't alone. And so all these messages that I'm making, like, they're cultivating that. And I literally journaled the other day. This is so personal. I hope you guys don't mind. But I journaled the other day. I was like, I can't believe that I've, like, finally become the person that younger me always needed. Like, and who knew that, like, younger me needed me? You know what I mean? Like, she always thought that she needed someone else. She didn't realize that the person she was looking for the whole time was me. And I was just journaling about that, and I was like, that's the most beautiful love story I've ever written. Is, like, just, it's not even about the love, it's about being there. It's about the presence that I'm providing to myself and to others through the essence of what younger me desired, you know? So it's like this eternal little loop of, like, love that stems from, like, becoming who you always needed. And so it's just like, that's where all these messages really, really root from, is me just, like, wanting to create a space so that no one ever has to feel the way that I felt when I was younger, like, being so alone or not feeling like they had someone, right? Okay, there you go, there you have it. We'll get more into me later when I'm less uncomfortable. I love you guys. I really hope you guys know that this brings me more joy than anything I've ever done in my life. And man, I've done a lot. Like, I am a multifaceted fucking goddess, witch, queen. Like, I have done so much in my life, and it's so crazy. I can't even put it all on paper. Like, my website is a fucking wild place because there's so many different buttons to click. But this, of everything I have ever done, is the most raw. And, like, my whole life I used to promote people and be like, give me something raw, give me something real, give me something honest. Like, I want to see your truth. I want to see that gut-wrenching energy that just stems from all of you. And I always said that to people because that's the only thing that I wanted to see from them, you know? I would take anything else, but that's, like, where I was really stemming from. Like, I was like, give it to me, all of it. I just want to feel all of it, you know? And that's what this is for me. Like, this is my expression of that rawness within me, and it's the most beautiful thing I have ever tapped into, right? And it's like, I can't even put it into words because it's even more beautiful than that, because the fact that you guys exist is so crazy to me. Like, it's like all my dreams, but like a million X, because I never imagined it would come in this way. And like, I just don't have words. Like, you guys make me feel so blessed every single day, every message. And even when I'm recording here and talking to you guys, like, I just feel like the luckiest human being on this entire planet. And I do, and I journal about it, and I talk about it, and even though there's so much movement of energy and different energies that come through and things that I'm still even learning, and I'm learning so much always, right? Like, but I love learning. This feeling that I have of like honesty and rawness that I feel making these messages with you guys is like nothing I've ever seen on this planet, and it's so beautiful. And I just hope you guys know how grateful I am, truly. So I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will see you guys in the next message, and absolutely let me know if this message has resonated with you. Okay, bye.